Hi guys, chatting to Shaun, Botha and Eton from Reusable Walling Systems today. We've seen with this war against COVID-19 a multitude of sanitizing booths hitting the market. And one of these booths is one of yours. And Eton, can you tell us, there's so many booths out there. What sets you guys apart from the rest?
Yeah, thanks Adele. Thanks for the opportunity to showcase our product. I'm actually standing at the Engen garage, Big Bird in Midrand at the New Road off-ramp. It's quite a big setup here. And in the background, you can see our booth. We installed this about 2 weeks ago and have had a phenomenal response. And I think what I'd like to highlight today is the unique aspects of our product versus our competitor offerings. Firstly, I think let's all understand that this is a new segment, a new market. We don't, this is all new to us, but we recognize the opportunity to at least do something to sanitize people at entrances to facilities, as opposed to doing nothing. And we think this is a viable option for a number of reasons. Firstly, it's very well priced compared to some of the offerings we've seen. It is made out of non-corrosive materials. Some of the sanitizers are corrosive, which is a problem when you're using anything other than aluminium, which we're using, and polycarbonate sheeting, or some of the other aspects of the product, which Shaun can explain in more detail in a second. It's also transports very easily to site. It comes in a flat pack. So it's easy for our crews to go nationwide. And so far we've delivered to the Northwest province and also to the Eastern Cape. And we intend rolling out nationally. So it's important that the logistics around this product is kept in mind, as I said, and it takes about an hour to erect once it's on site. I think also something that we try to do is give a solution that is all-encompassing or turnkey. So what we have provided is a variety of sanitization offerings, which come in that we can supply. So it's all good and well having a great booth, but the one issue we found is that you don't want to have, you've got to keep the consumption to an acceptable level. And we work on about 30 liters an hour, that's delivered through our system. And we think this is both economic and efficient when you consider the cost of sanitizer that is or disinfectants that are being sprayed onto customers. I think maybe
the sanitizer, is it safe to the skin and to clothes especially? I know that's a big concern to a lot of people.
The sanitizers that we are selling are tested in a laboratory environment. They are safe if they are diluted to the correct dilution. Mm-hmm. The two options, one is granular, which is very easy to transport, and the other is in a liquid concentrate. So in order to, you've just got to make sure that the end user mixes it in the right dilution. Okay. So that's important.
And then, sorry, the regulations, you hear about fire regulations and these sort of things. Do your booths meet all those regulations?
Absolutely. Ours are SANS 10400 compliant. So it conforms with the minimum width standards that are required at an entrance to meet with fire regulations. Also, our booths don't only use water-based disinfectants. As opposed to some of the other competitors are using alcohol-based, which I personally think is a very high-risk situation. You've got alcohol mist, and that's very flammable. And then there's also a number of other reasons why I don't think alcohol is a sustainable solution for the misting booths.
Can you show us how this fancy booth works? It looks very, very nice. So can we put it to the test?
Yeah, so there's an entrance to the tunnel, which you can see here. We've got a floor that comes standard. Mm-hmm. You walk into the booth. I didn't want to switch it on now because of my computer, but here's a motion sensor that activates the misting system, which is inside.
Mm-hmm.
So you walk through, and at a slow walk, you'd get a spray of fine mist that covers you, and that's important so that the disinfectant actually sits on the person's body, on their skin, on their clothes, and then can act as it's supposed to kill the viruses.
This is the whole body sanitizer, effectively.
That's correct. So here's our tank, the vessel that comes standard.
Very nice.
A switch system that allows the sensor to be activated or to be overridden. So, for example, big shift changes at mines, you can just switch it to override, and it'll spray continuously till the shift is cleared, and you can put it back to sensor, which then only starts spraying once people come through, which is also a good way to reduce consumption of the disinfectant or sanitizer you're using.
Do you just, we live in a world where things like that will be lifted and taken. Do you bolt them down?
Absolutely. This is all pretty secure. This is, so if I had to show you here, it's secure on the floor, it's bolted down and all four corners, and then the pump is also secured, and that box has also been drilled into the ground.
Okay, perfect. So just so our viewers can hear, you said this is at the Engen garage off New Road?
In Midrand in Joburg, on the N1 North, between Joburg and Pretoria.
Okay,
Big Bird.
Fantastic. Shaun, we're going to head over to you now to hear a little bit more just about RW. Thanks, Eton. We will catch up with you again. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Cheers, Eton.
Cheers. Shaun, just to hear a little bit more about the company history. Obviously, Reusable Walling Systems is not in the business of sanitization booths. That's not where you guys started. Can you tell us a little bit more about the history of the company as well as the other product offerings that you've got?
Okay, thanks, Adele. Thanks for this opportunity. We initially started off as a glass and aluminium business, doing normal shop fronts and stuff like that. And then 4 years ago, so we've been operating now for about 4.5 years. 4 years ago, we bought a couple of systems, demountable systems, screening systems from a company called Reusable Walling Systems, which was around for about 15 years. Systems that have been in the market over a decade, that have been modified and changed and stuff to adapt to different architects' requirements and different clients' requirements. So RWS has been around now for 4.5 years. Pretty much started June of 2016.
And obviously this COVID-19 has affected most industries. How has it affected you guys as an industry?
So it's affected us pretty much like every other business out there. I'd pretty much say majority of our work comes from the construction industry, which has pretty much been put on complete hold at the moment, and we actually don't know when that's going to start up again. So a lot of our work does come from construction businesses, architects, quantity surveyors, interior companies, which all have been put on hold completely with all projects and that. So we've had to think out of the box slightly, and that's when we've come across, we started making these disinfected misting booths, which Eton spoke about earlier, and which I think has become quite a great success, and probably going to be part of our life for the next year or two. Hopefully not, but yeah.
And
yes.
Have you used your existing systems to develop the sanitizing booth, or have you had to bring in a new system?
No, so we've used one of the systems, we bought over 3 systems from Reusable Walling at the time. One of the systems we've used now for this is our System 50, which is a full height demountable system, which allows us to create modular pods, different heights, a system that is pretty much made in a factory where you can take a look and you can see obviously the quality control over that system, take into site, and 2 guys can actually erect it. All clips together, so easy assembled.
And then can you just tell us the booths, a little bit more around the construction of the booths, what it entails, finishing, you know, and reusability, because that's obviously what you guys are known for.
Yeah, so on the System 50, we've developed, it's an aluminium system which clips together. So obviously we've got our own dies for that system, which is held with one of our extruders. So it's our system completely. We have sold it on to other guys in the past. So all we've done is taken that system, integrated different type of components that will work with the different solutions in that to make it non-corrosive in that. And we've developed our misting pod. So we use obviously an aluminium, which is a natural anodized aluminium. We can powder coat it if we wanted to for different client requests. At the moment, we've just been requested standard anodized. And then the finishes, we've gone with 4 different types of finishes. One being the Lexan, which is a polycarb Lexan. We've gone with a PVC board, an architectural board, glass, and then we have also gone with a white chromadeck option, which is an easier wipeable surface. But at the moment, we've sold mainly just the Lexan booth. Obviously, the price differs between the four products. The system itself, so what happens is we've got different size pods, but on our standard pod, which we're selling is the 2 meter long by the 1.5 by the 2.4 high to go within regulations. We made it in 4 different panels, 1 meter panels at that 2.4 high. Those panels clip together, and we have a 2-pod roof that slots over the top of that, which bolts everything together. Then underneath those panels, we've got base plates that fix to the underside of the screen, which we can fix down to the floor as well, just to help with any wind or anything like that. We've also created different extras for the pod. Obviously, they've got the AstroTurf finish. We've got the decorative blocks, which Eton showed you in the video. We've also got a cage for more theft-resistant type scenarios where we've got a steel cage that can go over the pumps and stuff like that, all the value components. And then we've got wind deflectors, and we've got marketing fins. So on the other side of the booth, you can create marketing fins, and on the top, especially for your shopping centers. I think, obviously, being a booth that everybody's going to go through, I think the marketing around this booth, what the client can put on the booth, is a great marketing element, because it's everybody's going to go through that booth, and that is the first thing they're going to see. So it almost helps the client try get additional funds to support, to subsidize the sanitizer that they're going to be putting in these booths from a monthly basis as well.
Yeah, I suppose they could almost, a shopping center could almost buy the booth and get their tenant to advertise on the booth even. Because if you're saying there's 4 panels and there's marketing for, you can have different people getting different spaces.
Correct, yeah. So that is probably the greatest advertising space that I see in a shopping center. If you're closing off 1 or 2 entrances of a shopping center and you've got to go through a booth where you can have an advertising section at the top and on the sides, that is pretty much the strongest advertising space you got on the booth.
No, definitely.
So I think it's a great aspect for your shopping centers, malls, that type of scenario.
So look, in fact, we know this pandemic it's around for the long haul. It's not going to just disappear tomorrow. However, we are hopeful that at some stage life will return to some form of normal, and these booths, people are going to probably not want to keep them around. What can they do with them afterwards?
So obviously, because we've built the booths not out of stainless, out of standard steel or anything like that, which you're just going to scrap in the end. We've made the booths out of our System 50 demountable system. So the nice thing about it, those panels could be used, or those pods could be used for, we have done in the past where some corporates require phone booths, smoking pods, just a small collaborative breakaway zone. So we could add to these. These are all 1 meter panels, and we can just add to them. We've got different connectors, which we can 90 degrees, 3 ways or whatever. So we can add to the pod, make it bigger, make it smaller. we can create different, so it's different types of pods. The client can even make up a boardroom
So
if
it's
he
not
wants
money
to.
lost.
So there's no money lost on it. Obviously, being aluminium and that's 100% recyclable in that as well. So yeah, I think the main element we would try to punt to corporates or shopping centres is changing them into smoking pods, breakaway pods, or phone booths. Phone booths have been quite popular over the last few years, so we have done quite a few of those. And this thing is pretty much it's a phone booth. All we have to do is add a back panel in the door, and then that's you create a pod.
And tell me your capacity from a factory perspective, especially obviously during this period where you are limited with the amount of staff that you can have in your manufacturing area. What is your turnaround with regards to manufacturing? Your installation, can you install nationwide? How does lockdown affect you? Tell us a little bit more about all that.
So from a manufacturing point of view, yeah, we have been affected obviously with the amount of staff that we can use, which has restricted us slightly on the pods. Hopefully in the levels that are coming up, that's we can up our staff in that, because we've got a lot of guys that we can take on back. So from a booth point of view, we could manufacture about 5 booths a day. Depends on the size of the booth. Obviously, we've got 3 different types of booths, but on our standard booth, I would say we can manufacture 5 booths a day. That is complete structure, getting the pumps, the pipe work, everything that ready. Those are pre-manufactured kits already. And from an installation point of view, we could also, a team of 2 can install 2 to 3 pods a day. And then across the country, most of the pods we've sold at the moment have been out of Johannesburg. We have sold to the Eastern Cape, to Mpumalanga, and then obviously we've done a few in Joburg itself. So we can sell across the country. We also have people in different provinces which are familiar with our systems, because when we obviously do a lot of work in those provinces, previously we've used guys down there to actually install our product. So the nice thing is the likes of Cape Town and Durban would be covered from an installation point of view. We would just send the product down there, and we'll have guys locally that can assist us with installation, which will help for the client when it comes down to obviously traveling costs and accommodation and living out and a lot.
Now, from an installation perspective, could say someone buys one of the pods, could they install it themselves? Is it easy enough to install, or do you need a level of expertise?
So it's pretty straightforward. We've done a lot of marketing material around these pods. So we haven't just sold a pod and put it on a client's doorstep and said, there's your pod. So we've done a lot of research into that. We've created a lot of videos, manuals, the whole lot. The client we had in the Eastern Cape, we sent down 2 booths. We installed the 1 booth for the client, and the second booth the client installed by himself. And you initially need 2 to 3 guys just to help on it. It's like I say, it's 4 panels that clip together, and the roof just slides over the top. And the pump and that, most of that work is done in the factory already. The only thing the client would need is, for instance, in different areas, they would need an electrician just to supply an isolator point to plug the booth into, the pump into. And obviously there would need to be a water point. It's a 260 litre tank. So normal hose, you can fill it up. So yeah, it's mainly power and water access close by, and level ground for the client to work on.
Okay, and Shaun, price point, what are they looking at?
So we've got obviously the three different types of booths, but you're ranging, I would say, our bottom of the range, our smallish booth ranges you're looking between 21 and 32,000 Rand. And then we've got a teapot booth, which is more for an entrance and exit on the booth. We're looking at about 45,000 Rand on that. So I would say you're looking between 22 and 32,000 Rand for a booth.
Okay, perfect.
And that's complete. That's complete on the booth.
Now, how can we order? If someone wants to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you to order?
So they can contact me on my cell phone or drop an email.
Okay.
I will send them through all the marketing material, send them through the quotes, and we can arrange, we can send stuff through to them. So on my cell phone, which is 083 645 0131, or my email address, which is Shaun, SHAUN, @wallingsystems.co.za.
Perfect. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And we will definitely see your booths out there.
Yeah.
And we wish you all the best.
Perfect. Thanks, Adele. Thanks for the time and that. And let's fight this thing together.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
Cool.